What's going on, guys? How we doing out there? I'm Cody Intervolt, PDGA148739, and welcome back to my channel after being away from the YouTube for a very long time and promising constantly that I was going to put up YouTube stuff. We're finally here. Now, before I go and jump into my round recaps, or guess I should say rounds recap, first and second round, um, I know I said I was going to do a preview video on Thursday, which I wasn't able to do because I had a bunch of stuff going on. I didn't even get to my hotel until like 6 or 7 o'clock. So I was just really tired by the time I got home, so I didn't get a chance to do it. And then yesterday I planned on doing a round one recap, and then I ended up falling asleep at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and ended up waking up at like 9:30 in the afternoon. So it wasn't intentional, and I ended up falling asleep. So but I did promise myself that I was going to do one today. So thank you guys so much for being patient to me. If you have not liked or subscribed to my YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and I would greatly appreciate that. So today I'm going to be recapping rounds 1 and 2 of the 40th annual Discraft Great Lakes Open. Now this is a tournament that I'm going into. I wanted to do really well here. I played here last year for MA4, took second place, lost to my good buddy Ryan Cook by one going into the last 2 holes. And I just wanted to come out here and play good. I really love the courses here in Michigan. Milford, playing Black Locust courses, playing Hudson Mills, even playing Independence Lake, which I played blind on Friday. But I, I'm just not playing the way I wanted to, and I haven't been really playing well the last few tournaments I've done. But I just really need to start practicing more. I'm really not giving myself time during the day to practice, and I'm definitely showing it in tournaments because of that. So I definitely need to get out to fields more and do some more work, especially doing upshots and whatnot. Um, my video is coming to you from my hotel room, Motel 6 in Farmington, Michigan, which is like 35-40 minutes from both Hudson and also Independence Lake. But I'm also 17 minutes away from the final course that I play tomorrow. So thank God the last course I play is really a lot closer. So I got here Thursday, checked in, whatnot, did a practice run at Hudson Mills, and ended up shooting 3 under. Um, and then so I was feeling pretty good going into it. I said I didn't get a chance to play Independence Lake, so I was going to be playing that one blind. Never played it before, so I didn't know what to expect going in. First round, I teed off at 11:54 Eastern time, which is 10:54 Central time for my Illinois family. Um, so first round ended up being yesterday at Independence Lake West, and like I said, going into it blind, I didn't know what to expect. But sometimes I end up tournaments that I do play blind on, I end up doing well at. So kind of was like in the middle between feeling really nervous and feeling good going in. But first hole ended up taking a bogey, unfortunately, on the very first hole I did. Um, Ended up having an okay first shot drive. Second shot ended up putting it about 20 feet out, and the third in my putt for a par just stuck to my finger. Was able to get the comeback coming up for the bogey. Unfortunately, I followed it up with a birdie on 2, so I got back to even on that. 3, 4, and 5, I ended up taking pars on. So I was feeling pretty good shooting even through the first 5 holes that, of course, I'd never seen before. Hole 6 is a sorry. Hole 6 is a hole that I ended up taking a double bogey on, unfortunately. Had a grip lock off the drive, and then had to kind of pitch out, tried to pitch out for the second shot, but saw a tiny gap at the last second, decided to go for it, and ended up, unfortunately, early releasing it and hitting the tree that was like 15 feet right in front of me. So then I had to pitch out for the 3 and then do like a weird, because I had no angle, I had no shot, so I just did a weird hyzer putt around this tree and ended up having to tap in for 5. So I ended up taking a double bogey on 6, which was a little discouraging. But I just had to keep telling myself it's the very first round. You still got 2 more rounds to go. Don't let that ruin your day. So next 3 holes, I ended up parring on the next 3. So after the front 9 saw me shooting 2 over. So it was a little unfortunate, but going into the back 9, I had the confidence in the world that I could get back to even, if not maybe go under by the end of the round. Started on 10 with a par, followed up with a birdie on 11, which I felt really good about. Hole 12 was a really bad shot. Actually, hole 12 was actually not a bad shot. I early released my Avenger SS and ended up putting myself about 30, no, about 45, between 45 and 60 feet from the basket. Had a weird big pine tree right in front of me, so I was just kind of trying to take my normal tactic and just do a little like kind of like not like a grenade shot, but just like a straight spike hyzer straight down into the green and early release it and put really nothing on it and put myself 20 feet out for the par save and put nothing on the putt. I put it too low, so then I ended up missing that one and tapping in for a bogey. Hole 13 was played as the hardest hole. Literally, like from the tee all the way to the basket, the hole was 286 feet, and there was probably after the first 100 feet, just like a clump of like 7 or 8 tiny little trees, where you had probably about this much of a gap. And so I had to go for that. I told myself if I can at least get past these first couple of trees, I can set myself up and get up and down for a par. And I ended up making the gap and missing everything. Landed about 15 feet from the basket, and then had a birdie putt on one of the hardest hole on the hardest hole there, and I ended up putting it too high. So missing the par putt on 12 to take a bogey, I ended up putting it too low, and then tried to make the adjustment and then put it way too high. Thankfully, it was a little on a hill, and I managed to sit 5 feet to the left of it, and then had a tap in par. So that one kind of hurt a little bit, which if I would have had that, I would have been back at one over for the round. So, but 14, I ended up taking a par on also, and then 15, I unfortunately followed up with another double bogey. It was a hole was 312 feet. Had a big clump of trees right down the middle of the tee where we had an open gap here to do an Anheuser shot, or we had a little tinier gap to go this way. And I'm trying to line up my shot with my Nate Perkins Metazen Essence. And I threw the blue one, which I should have thrown my pink one because that one has a little more understability to it, a little more flippy. But I didn't, and I went with the blue one instead. And then right before I threw, I saw that I had a chance to go for the hyzer shot to the right, but at the last second I said no, stick with what you know, and grip locked my shot. Ended up hitting a tree right in the middle and pushed it hard left. Tried to pitch out and I literally had no shot and tried to pitch out. Ended up landing like in a clump of trees in front of me, which I still had an opening to it, and then tried to go with my instinct and try to get it out there and early released it and put it back into the woods and then hit the basket on the bogey which I would almost had a bogey save by that much and had a tap and double bogey on that. And then followed it up with the three on the three last holes with pars. So I just had to tell myself after that I knew I was 4 over, so I just needed to par out and put myself in a good spot for that day. After round one, I ended up seeing myself putting in tied for 117th place, which it wasn't really ideal because there's 172 players, and I'm not trying to be like that. But I felt okay with a 4 over round, and of course I've never played before. But um, unfortunately, the rating did not say the same as 4 over at Independence Lake ended up only being 836 rated, which ended up being 38 points below my rating. So I felt really bad. I'm 874 rated. I just have not been playing tournaments good lately. I had a really good long stretch of playing good tournaments, and then now I'm having a stretch of playing bad tournaments. But I'm hopefully able to turn around for the final round. So after round one, sitting in 117th and 4 over with an 836 rated round, I was a little discouraging, a little upset with myself. But ended up having to tell myself, you got 2 more rounds. We need to come back from this, so we need to figure out what we're doing wrong. We need to adjust. And on another side note, hole 3 was the only one. Everything played as a par 3 except hole 3. Hole 3 played as a par 5, which it was 525 feet. It was like a hard straight shot to about the first 250 feet, and the next 275 was to the right. And I just wanted to do a placement shot. So that way I could have at least a look after the first shot, at least get there, maybe have a chance at an eagle birdie, if anything, at the worst, and then be able to get a stroke. And ended up grip blocking my shot, my orange Opto X Culverin, ended up grip blocking my shot, and thankfully I was able to fight over all the trees and still have a opening at least coming out of the woods for the most part, so I could still at least pitch out. Ended up having to pitch out, and then the three ended up going right over the basket. The third shot went right over the basket. The fourth shot hit the top band again, and I had a tap in five from the par. So I had a perfect opportunity to get a birdie, and I just completely whiffed on it. So overall, the drives felt good. Putting was either hit or miss, but overall there were more hits than misses. Upshots are upshots were fine. It was just the mid game. I just had a couple of bad early releases, and mid game has been the worst weakness of my game, and I definitely need to work on it. But after round one, I was sitting at 4 over for the round, or 4 over for not only the round but also the tournament at an 836 rated round, which I had to tell myself that just got to come back playing stronger and better than round two. Okay. Round two ended up being over at one of my favorite courses here in Michigan at Hudson Mills Metro Park, which we played the Monster course. There's two layouts. There's one that's the original one, and then there's a Monster, which the Monster is 18 holes plus I think 6 extra holes that have letters to them, like kind of like for all you Illinois people for the Delwood fam, or like for the Delwood family, all that stuff. When there's like 6A through E and then 8A through whatever. So that's the Monster course, and that's the one we played. But we played the shorts today. Um, and I started out playing pretty good. Hole one, I ended up parring on the very first hole, which I had an instinct. It was a 240 foot, 41 foot, straight down to the left shot. Ended up going instinct, landing about just outside circle one. Had a weird angle. I keep thinking it's raining outside, but that's just my AC. Ended up having a weird angle. Oh, hang on, sorry. Ended up having a weird angle and on an Anheuser angle, and I just said, at least get it up there. And it was online. And I hit the top band again. So I missed a birdie by about that much on the very first hole. So I ended up taking a par on that, following it up with three more straight pars. So the first 4 holes shooting even was feeling pretty good. Hole five, I almost went. Hole five was a good one. I went with my razor claw tactic that I actually just recently put back in my bag. I took it out for a little bit because I got a Sky God for my birthday and been trying to work it out. And I just can't for the life of me get a grip on it. So I think that's going to end up being a disc that I just have signed and hung up, or signed by Simon and hung up. So I ended up putting the razor claw tactic back in my bag, and that's what I went with. And I got a weird little skip, but ended up being about 25 feet out for the birdie putt and just went over the top of the basket in for the birdie. So I ended up taking a birdie on five. Followed up with pars on six and seven. Six, I hit the band again and missed the birdie putt. Seven, I actually just went over the top of the basket and missed the birdie putt on that. So my putting was feeling really on point today. And then followed up with a birdie on eight and felt really good about that one. Eight was a hole that was another straight shot down there, 210 to the left. And I almost went with my Iron Samurai 3, my Eagle McMahon MD3, and decided, I said, oh, I'm feeling a little tailwind. If I put a little ante on this, it's going to flip on me and go into the woods to the right. So I said, come on, Cody, just go with your gut. Go with your gut. You know, this is why we're here to play smart golf. So I decided to go with my 2021 Glow Rubber Drone. That's one of my favorite go-to discs in my bag. And ended up deciding to go with that one. Took a deep breath through and ended up going about 5 feet to the left of the basket. Had a tap in birdie on 11, not on hole 8. Unfortunately, followed up though, however, on hole 9 with a bogey, as I had a bad first shot. Second shot was okay. Third shot, I was right there, and I just stuck. Putter just stuck right to my hand, and I whiffed on it. Had to tap and come back for the bogey. So through the front 9, I was sitting at 1 under with minus the one stupid bogey I shouldn't have taken on 9, but couldn't feel really bad about that front 9. Also, it was really nice today weather-wise. Like, it got a little hot towards the end, but it was last 2 days have been really nice here. It's been like 77, and then today was 80, and it was complete sun, so it felt really good. Going into the back 9, I started on hole 10 with a par on hole 10, followed up with a birdie on 11, so I ended up going back to 2 under for the round. Was a really good shot off the tee. Ended up throwing an essence and landed about 15 feet to the left of the basket. 12 and 13 ended up seeing myself taking a par, following up with a bogey on 14, which unfortunately, and this is something that I had against the tournament staff, They wrote in the caddy book that for our for MA3, the division I was playing, that hole 14, the monster hole, that was 650 feet, was in the caddy book a par five. So I'm walking up to this and I got a five on it, thinking I parred the monster hole, which is a good feeling after having after having work bad shots on one and three. Just threw an Avenger SS and grip locked it and ended up sending it to the right, but ended up getting up there and got up and down for the five, thinking I'm like, all right, I parred. And then our guy on my card was keeping score said, oh, they have it on the live scoring as a four, which after the round we ended up going and asking. I guess there was a typo on the caddy book. It was supposed to say a four, but they just never emailed us that. So that was kind of shitty because it's like if you knew about it and just forgot to email us, like isn't that something you should let us know? Especially if someone's having a bad round. It's like okay, well here's a par five hole that we have a chance to build our confidence back up a little bit, you know. But so when I thought it was a par, it ended up being a bogey, unfortunately. So I ended up seeing myself at one under for that through 14 holes for the round. Followed up with pars on 15, 16, and 17. So going up to hole 18. Now this is the one, and this is still bothers me right now. I was walking up the hole 18, and I was shooting one under for the round, feeling really good. And I just told myself, all right, Cody, you got to throw this up there at least the first like 150 feet straight. Give yourself a look. I have a 140-foot shot on your second one, little hyzer shot to get up and down for your par save and finish strong. Even if I bogeyed, I would have still finished even for the round and felt okay with it. As the card in front of us were walking past the little bridge halfway up the hole to finish out the round, we were just waiting for them. I decided to walk the hole, and I saw the gap that I had to hit, and I said, you know, I could hit that. But which immediately I should have just been like, no, Cody, you don't want to do that to yourself. You don't want to do that to yourself. You've been playing really well today. Don't screw yourself over because you want to be stupid. And I just kept telling myself, you don't have the confidence. Don't do the shot. Well, as it got up to my turn, I felt felt like I still had no confidence, but I still decided to be stupid and go for it. And went with my more flippier Avenger SS, which I grip locked, and ended up hitting the tree that was 45, 50 feet to the right of me. Ended up having to do a little like hook anhyzer shot, which I ended up getting over the bridge, but put myself about 85 feet out for the par save and hit the basket on the par save and rolled about 15 feet to the left, 15, 20 feet to the left. And then putter just stuck to my hand again, and I threw it really low and missed a bogey putt and ended up taking a double bogey on 18 and finishing one over for the tournament, or for the round. So super annoying. Didn't like how I ended up finishing on it. Um, but you know, what are you gonna do? You know, you can have no control over that. It ended up being unofficially 873 rated, which right now I'm event averaging out at about 855, which is 19 points below my rating. So, and I moved up from 117th place to 103rd, so I can't really complain. I moved up 14 spots. Obviously, I'm in no contention to win. I have no intentions of even trying to. My goal tomorrow, going into the final rounds, we're playing Black Locust Blue, which was the course I played last year from the shorts at 2 under, so we're playing longs this year. So it might be a little more challenging, but I should be able to at least finish hopefully stronger and at least get a top 100 finish. That's my goal right here. I'm sitting tied for 103rd out of 172, which is not ideal, but like I said, if you're gonna play, if you're at the end of the day, it's you versus the course, and if you can't beat the course, then you're not gonna put yourself in a good spot. So that's what I just gotta tell myself: you're not putting yourself in a good spot, and you're screwing yourself. And I even told myself that walking off the course today. I said, I was even like when I got to my car, I was even like I had like my blanket. This is the towel I was using, but I just had a big white towel in my hand, and then right as soon as shout out Great Lakes Open, and I just literally when I was in my car, I put my towel up to my face like this, and I just screamed into my towel. I'm like, why? Why would you be so stupid? You were playing so well. Like, why would you risk that? You know, and you just, unfortunately, at the end of the day, I ended up telling myself, no risk, no reward. So, super unfortunate. I'm not going to be able to go watch the pros play at the course as last year it was included in our registration. This year it was not. So, to go spectate the pros, so I'm not going to be able to go do that. I'm just going to watch them on TV. But huge shout out to all of them. Last I checked, Gavin Rathbun, who was 7 down through 10 holes, and he was sitting tied for second. So shout out to Illinois local and that boy from Oswego, Gavin Rathbun. Hope you finish strong, my dude. Um, like I said, overall, I can't be too upset with how I played, as it's me, and it ends up being me for versus the cores. But I just got to play better. I got to start practicing more, and I'm not putting myself in these spots to practice, and I'm not intentionally. I just end up screwing myself because of it. And then I'm like, when I have to play smart, I end up not making the right decision. So the goal for tomorrow is just to shoot above the rating, at least get, I want to say, I got to get at least 890 or at least 895, 900 rated around there. I at least have to get that to at least event average out around or either right at or right above my rating. So the goal is to shoot above the rating, finish above the rating or right at the rating. Have fun. You got nothing to lose. Just finish strong and be able to walk away from tomorrow saying that I didn't play up to my standards, but I am super happy overall, happy with how I performed, and the experience I had was great. Huge shout out, even though they screwed up on the caddy book, and they also I think the spectator thing should be included, but that's another story. But huge shout out to Nate Heinold and his crew for all the work they've done this weekend. They run really good courses or run really good events, whether it be D-Glow or Ledgestone. They always do good stuff. Um, they're doing really well. They're doing really well. So if you end up getting a chance to go out there and you see anybody working the event, make sure you tell them thank you and tell them that they did a really good job. And just words of encouragement is all the best you can do. Um, but tonight's plan is there's a players party at the place we checked in at Holden's, little mini market, from 6 to 9 Eastern time tonight, and I plan on going out to that. I plan on seeing some of the pros, hopefully get some signatures. Um, but yeah, Independence Lake kicked my ass. Hudson Mills, I shot, like I said, shot 300 in my practice round, then shot one over for it today. So I think I'm going to try and get some more putting practice in either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. I think I'm going to get up super early to do that. Um, Take a shower, eat something, and then head up to my tournament. Get a cup. I want to try and get there a half hour, 45 minutes before I tee off. Not sure yet. They haven't announced yet what time I tee off tomorrow. But once that's out, I will obviously put a link in my Facebook and let you guys follow along if you even want to. Um, and I'm just gonna have fun. Hopefully, I can finish strong and walk away from the tournament saying that, hey, I at least accomplished something. So, um, and then once I get there, I'm gonna try and get some practice throws in, get some putting in, and then go about the round. And then probably try and listen to the pros on my way home because it's a 4.5 hour drive. But I'm probably just gonna come straight home right after the tournament, just so I can get home at a decent time, get my stuff ready for work on Monday morning, and then just go to sleep. So, but yep, as of right now, your boy is currently sitting at 5 over for the tournament, averaging at 855 rated golf, which is, like I said, 19 points below my rating, and I'm sitting tied for 103rd now as more people are coming in. So I think everybody finished now. Yeah, everybody's done. Yeah, so currently I'm sitting 103rd. So I'm 3 places out of the top 100. So I just need to get there. That's all I got to do. So other than the huge shout out to D Glows and Nate Heinold and his crew, huge shout out to Team Disc Store for continuing support of me, whether I'm playing really good or playing really bad. I really appreciate you guys, Disc Store Nate, and all you people out there. Huge shout out to my family, especially my mom and dad. My huge shout out to my mom, who's always been there for me no matter what. Grandma, I love you. I hope you get better soon. Can't wait to be home with you and cuddle up with my cat. Also, huge shout out to my beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Marie and Torsia. I, you are the best thing that ever happened to me, and your constant words of support and telling me to make sure I hope you kick ass today is definitely helping me. And for all the times we've argued and stuff, I just want to say I'm really sorry, and I care about you, and I can't wait to see you when I get home. I miss you, but gonna go in tomorrow and hopefully we can finish strong. And before I get home, I think I'm gonna try and do one more round recap before I take off on the road. So be on the lookout for one more final round recap tomorrow. But other than that, guys, as I always say in my podcast, tell someone you love them this week because not every day is guaranteed. I am Cody Interbold PDGA 148739. This has been my rounds 1 and 2 recap of Discraft Great Lakes Open, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the final round recap. Love you guys. Peace.